Hello fellows, how you doing? It's Rami. And in today's video I've got loads to say and I don't know if I'm really gonna run out of things to say. So basically in this video I'm gonna be speaking about the truth about my fears and insecurities, and I'm gonna be completely honest and vulnerable in this video. I'm gonna speak my heart. I'm gonna speak whatever comes to mind. I'm gonna be completely open. I'm not gonna hide anything. I'm not gonna deny any fact. So I'm gonna be basically very honest, very sincere, and I'm gonna basically be speaking the entire truth in regards to what I've been through myself and how massively insecure I was. I know it's dark to talk about, and I know how difficult it is for most people to talk about these things, and how embarrassing and how judged and exposed it makes you feel. I know it makes you feel judged and exposed, but sometimes you have to get off your chest, because if you don't speak about it, if you keep suppressing it, it's not gonna get any better. It's gonna get worse, and it's just gonna accumulate. All the pain from the past, all the fears and insecurities are gonna accumulate and are gonna get bigger if you don't speak about it, if you keep suppressing it and if you keep hiding it from people. So I feel obliged to speak and to say what's on my mind. So I've got to raise my voice a bit, so because I need to be heard. That's why I've got to speak with a very strong masculine voice, because I've got some people around me and some people may be watching me. I don't know if anyone is gonna notice me doing this video, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm speaking the truth. I'm putting out the truth. This is what I'm focused on. I'm not focused about being judged by people. I'm not focusing on people watching me. All I'm focusing is on the camera, and I'm focusing on my own voice, because I enjoy speaking. I enjoy listening to every syllable I utter. I enjoy speaking the truth. I enjoy inspiring people, and just speaking about my story is quite inspirational. And it's gonna motivate lots of people to move forward and to turn their lives around. So let me start with the basic thing, which is social fear, the truth about my social anxiety. Years ago, I had crippling social anxiety. I couldn't communicate with people without stuttering, and I also couldn't form wholesome relationships. All my relationships were based on being, embarrassed around people, feeling ashamed, feeling lonely. Even though I had lots of people around me, I literally felt lonely, because I felt that no one understood me. No one really had sympathy towards me whatsoever. I felt people were taking glee at watching my pain, at watching me suffering, and at watching me going through a daily torture. I thought people were happy seeing me suffering, and were enjoying basically just, seeing me and perceiving me in a bad negative light. That's how uh, paranoid my psychology was back then, because I was massively insecure and I was quite lazy. I was just complaining and whining about my fears and insecurities and not taking action, not doing something about it. And that's what made me ashamed, and it created more social anxiety. My problems got bigger and my life got worse, and nothing's changed. So the message that you've got to come to grips with from what I'm speaking is that when you don't take action, and when you're lazy, sitting on your ass, you're not doing anything to challenge your fears and insecurities, it's not gonna go away. It's gonna get bigger, it's gonna intensify, and it's gonna come back stronger, and it's gonna affect and ruin every single area of your life. So this is what happened to me. I'm speaking from my own personal experience and what I've been through, because I know what it means to be lazy and not to take action. Because when I did that, I've seen and witnessed the consequences and the damaging effects it had afterwards. The aftermath of that is quite miserable, and it's not gonna make you feel pleasant actually. So it's better if you go out and challenge your fears and insecurities and do something about it. Don't be a lazy bastard sitting and just whining and complaining and blaming everyone else for your fears and insecurities and blaming the world out there, blaming politics or blaming life, blaming God or whatever you blame, because this is what I did. I kept blaming people, I kept blaming myself. I was too hard on myself, and this all stemmed from my laziness and the fear of confronting my fears and insecurities, because I was quite lazy. I didn't want to put things into practice. I just wanted things to come easy. But years later, as I developed more and as I started to improve myself more as a person, and I started working on my own thinking, and I just started. I delved so deep into personal development, into challenging my fears, insecurities, doubts, feelings of shame, hate, embarrassment, all these sort of different negative emotions. I started challenging it, and this made me a much better person. It made me aware of myself, it made me aware of other people, and I started improving socially. I exposed myself to people, and I exposed myself to this is one of the things that you need to do if you're going through a horrible time socially. If you are not comfortable with people, if you don't trust people, you can't open up really well around people. You've got to go out and you've got to put yourself in social situations. As I always said, simple as that. It's insultingly simple. You've got to expose yourself, and you've got to get better with the feelings. You've got to feel the feelings and get used to the feelings, and just do whatever it takes to reduce the feelings and get absolute control and a better management over these neurotic thoughts and feelings. And this is what leads you to unconscious behaviors, because what I this is what happened to me years ago when I was in full of Broadway. I was in the pits of my depression. I was angry, I was insecure, I was quite horrible to people. I didn't treat people really nice, and I'm ashamed of that, because I didn't trust people. I thought people were against me, people were trying to get me. That's how paranoid my mentality was. So because of the psychological abuse I underwent years ago, this all stemmed from my embarrassment and shame and feelings of distrust towards other people and towards myself. But the good thing about me is I've always been courageous as a young kid. I did something about it. I didn't allow it to overwhelm me and to take me over. I was always courageous enough, and I faced my fears, and I challenged every single insecurity I had at the time. So I was blessed actually, because I had enough awareness. I read loads of books, and I did some psychological research on the internet on how people uh, how different circumstances and different type of uh, different kinds of upbringing affect people socially, and the way they interact, the way they speak to each other, and all that sort of deep, thoughtful stuff, if that's the right word. So it's quite thoughtful to think about these things, and I started. I'm quite proud of myself actually, because I'm starting to get in relaxed speaking in front of a camera. That would have been impossible for me years ago. I wouldn't have been able to. Just doing a YouTube video like that was quite stressful. I couldn't manage it. I couldn't cope with it. I felt embarrassed. I felt like people are gonna give give me, not give me credit for my work, for my. Just I felt my voice had no value. What I'm speaking, the words I'm uttering, are got no value. I felt completely worthless. That's how bad I felt. I didn't understand that all these behaviors were unconscious and were coming from a very damaged psychology, because I was damaged and I damaged a lot of people. I got damaged because this is a defensive mechanism I developed when I was young to protect myself from being harmed by people, because I was neurotic. I felt judged, I felt exposed, and it created a lot of pain, insecurity, and it made me ashamed of talking to girls. I was ashamed of, if I was in a close proximity with a girl, I would feel massively insecure. A lot of nervousness would be coming up, and I would get voices in my head telling me that I'm not good enough, I should be ashamed, I should walk with my head down, and I should not look people in the eye, and when people look at me, I should look away, and I should look on the floor. That's how bad I was. That's how bad I felt for many years, because I didn't understand how to deal with my own psychology.